Chocolate is a food loved by all. With 52% of Americans claiming it's their favorite flavor, this food comes in many forms, such as chocolate bars, spreads, ice creams, and little candies. This delectable treat is consumed so much in our everyday life to express love, help with breakups, show happiness, or just for plain eating. Though chocolate is a clear favorite in the United States, over 50% of chocolate is consumed in Europe, with the British, Swiss, and German eating an average of 20 pounds of chocolate a year per person. That's the equivalent of an average full-grown Cocker Spaniel. The top producers of chocolate we all know and love is Mondelez International, Ferrero Group, and top seller Mars. Mars runs more than 24 brands, including M&M, Snickers, and Dove. Mars distributes the most chocolate in the world and has average net sales of $18,480 million. While Mondelez International owns 12 brands of chocolate, including Cadbury, and Ferrero Group sells top products Nutella, Ferrero Rocher, and Kinder Surprise. The chocolate industry earns $83 billion a year, according to Markets and Markets research firm. This number is greater than the GDP of 130 nations. But where does all this chocolate come from? Our story starts in Côte d'Ivoire, more commonly known as Ivory Coast. Located in West Africa, Ivory Coast is the leading producer of cocoa beans, producing 39% of the world's cocoa. The cocoa is harvested by hand by the local farmers using long knives to cut them off the branches of the tree. The average cocoa tree grows approximately 25 feet high, though the average wild tree grows almost 50 feet. These trees have been modified to allow more harvest, as the trees have to be harvested by hand. Cocoa trees can live for almost 200 years in prime conditions and are most productive for about 25 years. When growing the cocoa trees are sprayed with chemicals to help prevent bugs from living in the trees and beans. Cocoa is second in the use of chemicals and pesticides, coming in behind conventional cotton. It uses 5.85 pounds of pesticides per acre, with at least 30 different types of chemicals used in the cocoa growing process, including aldicarb and azine menthol, which are considered extremely dangerous. Linden, a chemical also used in the cocoa making process, is banned in many countries, yet is still used in the production of European chocolate. Next, these cocoa beans are shipped to the factory. These bags of cocoa beans are mega bulked, as they are able to pack more beans into a smaller space. This method has been adopted by big producers throughout the years. The shipping includes going on ships, trains, and trucks all around the world, shipped from Ivory Coast, Ghana, Brazil, Cameroon, Indonesia, Nigeria, and Ecuador. After being shipped to the factory, the beans are placed in roasters from approximately 400 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, which help to crisp them up. When the bean shells are crisp, they are easier to break. After smashing the shells open, the cocoa nibs are revealed. These nibs are what produce the chocolate flavor we have all come to love. During this process, approximately 3.5 million cocoa bean shells are wasted each year due to this process. The nibs are then grinded up to make a chocolate liqueur. This liqueur is pure chocolate flavor with no alcohol included. Though this liqueur does not have any alcohol, it does contain a massive amount of cocoa butter. In order to make cocoa powder, the cocoa butter must first be pressed out of the chocolate liqueur. The now chocolate slab formed from pressing the cocoa butter out of the liqueur is then grinded up to make a fine powder. The cocoa powder is very bitter and as well as an amazing antioxidant. This powder then has milk and sugar added to it to create the sweet taste of milk chocolate. When the milk and sugar is added, this creates a chocolate crumb. The mixture is then grinded into a superfine powder and sent to be mixed with a small amount of cocoa butter, which allows the chocolate crumb to become a chocolate paste. This paste then goes through conching, where the paste is mixed to create a smoother paste, which then is able to be molded into shapes desired by the fabricator. After conching, the paste is poured into molds that vibrate to remove the air bubbles, sending it into a cooling area. After being cooled, these chocolates are sent to wrapping, where they are wrapped in the logo and information about the product. These chocolate products are wrapped in non-recyclable material, which are hard to recycle because although chocolate wrappers are made from plastic, they're hard to recycle because of the difficulty to recover valuable materials. Candy wrappers are third in behind plastic bottles and bottle caps, which pollute the ocean every day, ending up inside the bellies of birds and sea animals, which think they are small fish. This massive industry creates a huge amount of plastic being sent into our oceans and landfills. After being wrapped, these candies are delivered to many supermarkets, stores, and candy shops all around the world, to then be purchased by the public. These chocolate producers have many ways of convincing you to buy it. In many commercials, such as the Hershey's Company, the advertisements and commercials often show the chocolate products with super simple ingredients in them, as simple as cocoa, milk, and sugar. But this is not what they all are made of. And the packaging on many of these candies hide what the truth is of what's really in these products. On the Hershey's packaging, the ingredients listed are then followed by artificial flavoring. No one questions what exactly this artificial flavoring is made from, but chemical mixtures which mimic the chemical form and the natural flavor. These synthetic compounds are far cheaper to make and are also more stable in products. These artificial flavors can take up to 100 different chemical combinations and trials to get the wanted flavor, which can contain up to 300 different chemicals.
Though some chocolate is made with many chemicals in it, there are also some health benefits to eating pure chocolate. Raw cocoa is known as one of the best antioxidants in the business. Raw cocoa powder is at the top of the antioxidant list with almost 4 times as many antioxidants as goji berries. But why is raw cocoa so good for you? There are properties in raw cocoa that work like amphetamines to increase mood and decrease depression. With its unique resemblance to a chemical found in marijuana, it would take approximately 25 pounds of chocolate to achieve a high similar to marijuana, and nausea would overpower any feelings of bliss at all. Cocoa contains over 300 pounds, including proteins, fat, carbohydrates, fiber, iron, and magnesium. Magnesium helps us build strong bones and is a muscle relaxant, and cocoa is also high in sulfur, which helps form strong nails and bones. Though cocoa is one of the best antioxidants when combined with milk and sugar, as the majority of the world eats it, it is not as good as we all wish it was. With 23 grams of sugar per 44-gram bar, this delectable treat is not the healthiest snack to reach for, as it's 65% of your daily sugar intake recommendation within one average-sized bar.
This mouthwatering treat has both its pros and cons when it comes to consuming it. The pure cocoa bean can provide so many vitamins and minerals, and this single food also provides so much of the world's economy in countries like Ivory Coast, Ghana, and Nigeria. Without cocoa, our world would be so much different than we could imagine.